I remember there used to be this commercial on television. It was called Let Go My Ego, right? And it was these frozen waffles that you put in the toaster, right? And when it's done, it pops up and different family members are reaching for that frozen, now thawed waffle out of the toaster. And I don't know if you ever had one of those things, but they're absolutely nasty. And every time I've seen that commercial, it always reminds me of my ego. It's kind of like that that waffle pops up and the whole family, it's like their ego, that belongs to me, and they're reaching for it and they're fighting over it, right? You know, we all have an ego. We all have a certain way that we want people to see us. But then we make decisions, we say something, we don't respond the way that we wish we would have, and then somebody calls us out on it and we immediately get defensive. Why? Because our ego has been damaged. How we want people to see us isn't how they're seeing us, so we lean into that space to defend our ego. Hey, in the words of that commercial, let go my ego. Let go my ego. Listen, build your life on the character and the integrity of who you are. I like to say it this way. You know who you are privately. Make those tough decisions privately. When you wrestle through who you are privately, when no one's around, that forms your ego. So that when you are public and someone challenges you, and maybe you didn't show up the way that you wish you would have, your ego will have grown enough to be able to lean in that space. You know, you're right, I didn't. Would you forgive me? Because you've done the work privately, you've got deep roots, you have security that when your ego lets you down, you don't have to defend it. You can own it. You can ask others to forgive you of it. It makes sense. Let go my ego. And for those of you who have a spiritual bent, when I think about the word ego, it always reminds me of this statement, edging God out. When you and I grab a hold of our ego, to those of us who have a spiritual bent, you know what we're doing in that space? We're edging God out. We're putting ourselves into the role of God rather than putting our ego to the side. So listen, whether or not it's a stale waffle popping up from a toaster or making a difficult decision, let go your ego. And on the spiritual side, let's make sure we're not edging God